just right. The place was a rundown warehouse, old, dirty, industrial. The dude throwing the party took my $5 and I walked in. Techno was blasting out of a wall of speakers stacked one on top of the other. Dozens of ravers climbed the speakers and were getting their rave on, some wearing cat-in-the-hat hats, baggy rave gear, day-glow beads, and Mickey Mouse gloves. This mass of partiers was swarming the big black speaker boxes like ants attacking a piece of candy. This wasn't like any concert I'd ever been to. Everyone wanted to be as close as possible, some with their heads right up against the speakers. They didn't want to just hear the music, they wanted to feel every beat. I stood there trying to wrap my mind around what I was watching. It wasn't easy because I was peaking on LSD and I only had a loose grip on reality. I can't remember a lot about the night, but I know that by the time I left, I was hooked. When's the next one? Count me in. When we finally walked outside, someone yelled, "Look, all the cars got broken into." My heart dropped. I looked up and saw that all the car windows up and down the street were shattered. Not only that, but it looked like someone had taken a baseball bat to all the car bodies, too. They were totaled. But when we got closer, we realized that nothing had actually happened to them. We had been hallucinating from the high of the LSD. We looked at each other and started laughing. This was my introduction to the LA underground rave scene, and it was sick. Sometimes I wonder how I survived it. How can I possibly still be alive? And I'm not talking just that event, but all the years of partying. I have way too many friends who didn't make it. It wasn't the raves that took them down. The raves were just a new place to do what we had already been doing up in the hills around the city. What took my friends down were the drugs. The acid, ecstasy, meth, booze, and cocaine, taking them individually or combining them trying to take the high to the next level. For some, the ride just got too wild. One guy I knew was up 3 days on meth. Then he took a hit of LSD, bad tripped, and jumped off a cliff. The cops made me identify his body. That was my junior year in high school. Another guy took LSD, beat up his dad, and took a dive out of a second-story window before getting arrested by the cops and put in the hospital. Years down the road, I was almost a casualty like them, but God's grace saved me from an early grave and gave me hope and peace and purpose. That rave was the first of many nights spent in grimy warehouses. Once I went the first time, I was all in. I kept going back. It was unique, it was underground, and it was illegal. That was my vibe. It was LA Underground, and I couldn't get enough. I grew up like a lot of other Southern California kids. My family lived in Laverne, right next to San Dimas, where they filmed the famous Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We had a condo at the beach in San Clemente where we'd spend a lot of weekends surfing and skateboarding. Home life was great. My parents loved each other and they loved my brothers and me. My dad pastored a Calvary Chapel megachurch. In every family, there are challenges. There are no families that are perfect. But mine was about as close as you could get to ideal. In the late 80s, the LA Underground was hugely creative, as it always is, and thoroughly anti-establishment. The music was in your face and raw. Groups like Minor Threat, Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies, and Social Distortion were playing the clubs. The telephone poles lining Melrose Avenue were covered with concert flyers showing angry cartoonish figures and creative lettering. Album covers were either graphically simple or intricately designed. It was a rad time to be growing up. I was the youngest of 3. My 2 older brothers, Raoul Jr. and Shane, were deep in the skinhead, mod, and punk movements of the time. My brother Shane was in a thrashing power pop band called The Key that played gigs on the LA circuit. I remember one day Shane brought home his new girlfriend. He introduced her. "Hey, this is Gwen Stefani." Later on, I found out her band, No Doubt, was opening for The Key. It seemed like every day there was something new to see or to experience. I was a skater and a surfer, and I was surrounded by the music scene and the counterculture. Punks, mods, skinheads, and rude boys were always coming in and out of the house. A bully picked on me one day, so I had some skinheads on their Vespas pick me up from middle school. He never bothered me again. I loved the do-what-you-want rebel mentality.